What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Run It Up podcast. I'm your host, Najee. You know, I got my guy with me today, Jalaal Sandy. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. Weather's heating up. It's nice outside. Allergies still kicking my ass, but we here. It's playoff time. I'm excited. NBA, NFL draft is next week, so a lot of shit happening in the next couple weeks, and we're gonna stay busy. That's exciting. We usually don't have much to talk about.
We usually don't, honestly, especially during this time of the year. Is low key. Thank God for the NBA playoffs, honestly, because this is like we're heading into like the sports dead time of year. After the draft, there is nothing NFL to talk about until August. So
training camp.
Yeah. But yeah, make sure you guys subscribe to Run It Up Pod everywhere that podcasts are found. You find us on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, anywhere that you kind of listen to podcasts. Leave a 5-star rating and review. All of our links will be in the description down below. I'm on Twitter at Najee_. Jalaal's at J.Sandy_. And yeah, this episode, honestly, this could be a historic episode. This should be jam-packed. We're talking our NBA awards. We're going to talk a little bit about the play-in, and then we're giving our playoff predictions, series not round by round, but series by series, giving our thoughts on who's going to advance. And then, we'll ask a couple little playoff primer questions. But so just lock in. It's going to be a full NBA episode. But before we get into it, we got to do Song of the Week. So, Jalaal, what is your Song of the Week, my boy?
Oh, bloody. I don't even have a Song of the Week. Hold on. Let me look at my phone real quick.
Nah, you're good. I could give mine.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, mine is, I actually was lying. I wasn't expecting you to say that you want me to give mine. I'll give you, actually, since I was listening to this the other day, we're going old school. We're going 2010 Aubrey Graham. 2010. Yeah. 2010 Drake. 9 a.m. in Dallas. Great song.
Yeah, that's
great song. Great song. Timestamp Drake never fails. Need that on Iceman. And so 9 a.m. in Dallas.
I think you mentioned Iceman on like 6 straight episodes.
I know.
Iceman Suko.
Need it.
Shout out.
Need it. Come save the game.
I also have a bit of a throwback on mine. It's from 2016, 10 years ago. I was just watching this man perform at Coachella. Young Thug, Ridin, featuring Lil Durk. That is my song of the week.
Fire. Wow, we went throwbacks on this episode. We love it. We love a good throwback.
Yeah, fuck cancer. Shout out to Boosie.
Yeah. And so those are songs of the week. It'll be in the description down below, but we can get into NBA playoff stuff. We're talking NBA awards. What do you want to start with? I mean, I guess the most like
we could talk
polarizing about the one. Oh yeah, we could talk playing. I'm down to talk playing. Playing's been pretty crazy. So shout out. Adam Silver gets a lot of shit, but I do think that he cooked with the play.
The plan is the best thing he's
playing's a good idea. Playing's a good idea. So talk to me. Give me your thoughts on the first 4 playing game so far.
Well, I think a lot of people are they have recency bias because I think the play-in is electric majority of the time. We get 6 games every year, and most of the time 3 to 4 out of those 6 games are competitive as hell and come down to the wire. I just think this year it's more exciting teams. Like usually you have the Heat and Bulls, and like people don't really want to watch the Heat and Bulls dog it out, or like watching the Heat beat the Hawks, or watching, I don't know, the Clippers. One time it was like the Clippers without Kawhi. So like it's I think this year there's just more excitement because you have the Hornets who are young and up and coming, and the Trailblazers who weren't supposed to be here, and you've got Steph coming off an injury, and also a Suns team that nobody had making the playoffs. So like it was set up to be pretty exciting, and it's lived up to the hype. Hornets Heat was a fucking play-in classic. We don't say that a lot, but that shit was a classic. I didn't want the Heat to win because I think they need to be embarrassed and understand the mistakes they've made in the front office. I should have went to the game, but I decided to stay home because I didn't want to be embarrassed. But it was a great game.
You would have been an op out there. You're bam out of buying.
It wouldn't be the first time. It wouldn't be the first time. I've been there before in my Miami Vice D-Wade jersey. It would not be the first time, bro. I ain't scared of them. And there's a lot of Heat fans in Charlotte, so I wouldn't be alone. And then Trailblazers Suns was also really good. Denny had 40.
Yeah.
Devin Booker getting slandered. And then what was the other? Oh, I didn't watch Philly Orlando because I was out. But I got home in time to watch Clippers Warriors. And let me tell you, Steph Curry is still that nigga.
Yeah.
Very much so. And he's what, 37? 36,
Something
37?
Like
One of the
like
two. But I didn't bring up the play-in so that we could talk about Steph Curry. We know who Steph Curry is. Also, quick note, Draymond Green is the best defender of this generation. He's 36, bro. He's 36 years old, still playing defense from the same way from 10 years ago. Say what you want about his backpack jump shot, his lack of efficiency on offense. Defensively, he is like top 3 to 5 all time in terms of players. Like his impact at his size, what he's able to do, his versatility, his IQ is just off the charts. And he put Kawhi Leonard in an absolute fucking box for, I want to say, like 15 minutes. But I want to talk about the Clippers because it is time to admit, even though we already knew this Clippers era from 2019 to now is an absolute failure. They go out, they get Kawhi Leonard, which cool. Kawhi Leonard at the peak of his powers, coming off a championship. You're trying to be relevant. You're trying to get fans to get excited about Clippers basketball coming out of the Chris Paul era. Cool. Go and get Paul George. Cool. Trade your whole fucking future for Paul George, mind you, including Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
The worst trade in it,
maybe the worst trade in NBA history. If it's not one, it's absolutely number 2.
Yeah.
Not only that, I remember back then, like there was a Kawhi commercial with him like driving on the highway with the billboard and he had the keys, and in the keys it had a crown on it, like taking shots at Braun.
It's like street lights over spotlights, that kind of shit.
Yeah, something like that. So all of that, you come, not only do you get pushed out of your own city because the Lakers won a championship and get back to a Western Conference Finals before you do, you blew a 3-1 lead in the bubble. You got lapped by the team that you traded Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to and all those picks that you thought were going to be better. And now,
they still might get the first, like they could,
and
still
they still might get a pick
this year.
This year, they may not even get their pick back this year. We talked about this in like October because it looked a lot worse back then. It's still bad. It looked a lot worse in October, but even from a basketball standpoint, it's bad. But now Adam Silver has to no longer ignore the inevitable. Pack the Clippers up. They got dudes. Adam Silver is more concerned about tanking and guys missing games. And we got NBA players gambling under the table. We got owners circumventing the cap. We got Kawhi Leonard and his uncle doing God knows what, committing scams. And it's all good because, hey, the views are up. Hey, it's the most watched season in NBA history. Hey, man, get that shit under control. We don't really care. Let's be honest. The Clippers are irrelevant in terms of NBA history.
They've had in every facet of basketball.
they've only been like truly relevant in one era, and that was like the early 2010s,
Lob City,
Blake Griffin, Lob City era. Where I feel like they truly could have won a championship in the bubble, yes, but like you blow a 3-1 lead to a Jokic that wasn't even fully Jokic, and Jamal Murray, like very tough, very tough. But yeah, the Clippers are cooked. I don't think Kawhi Leonard is going to be back. What's the dude's name? Steve Ballmer is he just does whatever he can he just wants to spend money and buy as much as he can. The dome is beautiful, but brother, you got to win basketball games. You're already irrelevant in the city of LA. It's a Lakers town. So my advice to the Clippers would be sell the team, restart. You got a new arena. You got some new stars. You had to trade away everybody that you sold the farm for. And just start brand new because you're a failure. It's fucking embarrassing. And we're almost in 2030 and the Clippers have never been to the finals. in the modern era of basketball. So, and my last thing, Kawhi Leonard. You are not off the hook, buddy. Because I was on Twitter like 3 weeks ago, and I see niggas talking about, Kawhi might be better than KD at his peak. No. And this is not the first time Kawhi has folded in the spotlight. Like, obviously, I brought up the bubble. There's been all other elimination games where he just hasn't been up to par. And to watch him just get absolutely boxed by Draymond Green was insane. And he wasn't guarding like Steph Curry down the stretch. So, yeah, Kawhi's great. Like, I'm not trying to diminish his legacy. He's great, but I think he's been elevated to a point where we can't settle there. Like, he is not in Steph, KD, dare I say Giannis combos to me, or like even Jokic combo. Like, he's a tier below that. If he's in like the D Wade tier, because the all-time great things are like they're flashes. You don't get them year to year. You're like, oh, I hope we can get healthy Kawhi. I hope and pray we can see Kawhi be like the 2019. This is the best season he's had since basically Toronto.
I don't even know if he's in that D Wade tier. Like, you gotta win an MVP for me. You gotta win an MVP.
D Wade don't have an MVP though.
D Wade doesn't have MVP.
No, play with Braun, bro. Play with prime Braun. That man snatched that MVP right out his hands. Hey, I would say he does
have 2 Finals MVPs. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess he's in D Wade talks.
Similar talks.
Yeah, he can be in D Wade talks.
But I still think peak for peak, I'd still take D Wade. But yeah, he's in that.
I can live with that.
And okay, yeah, that's all I gotta say. Yeah, the Clippers are shit. Kawhi, you're not off the hook. And yeah, the plan's great. It's been a great idea the whole time. Adam Silver cooked, but you're still not off the hook either, buddy.
What I wanted to ask you is there a player more terrifying in a single game, winner take all, loser goes home scenario than Steph Curry in NBA history?
In NBA history?
In NBA history, yes. I know what you're gonna say, but
yeah.
Right
now, I would say the only other person that I would put up there right now is Braun. But I think Braun's game is falling off just a little bit. Like, you still get flashes of not even peak Braun, like something within the last 5 years of Braun. But I would say Steph is still reaching those peaks that he reached like 2016, even that last finals run in 2022. Yeah, the players, I mean, obviously Michael Jordan, obviously Kobe.
You would take Steph over Kobe single game, winner take all?
No, Kobe over Steph.
I mean, you would take Kobe over Steph? Okay.
Yeah,
I think they're the same tier of person in that, to be honest.
I think all the 4 players that I mentioned are all in the same tier, which is MJ, Kobe, Steph, Braun.
Okay. I think that's fair. I agree. I'm with you. I think those are probably my 4 also, MJ, Kobe, Steph, Braun. I can't really think of anyone else that I would put in that tier.
I would say there's like tiers. There's definitely tiers, but that top tier is them 4, and I'm trying to think of
and that's it, really. I'm not like, I don't know. Yeah. I'm not putting like Wilt and Kareem in there. I'm not putting like Magic. I don't know. I didn't watch Larry Bird enough to know. I've heard that he's like this killer nigga. Like, he's just this,
I would put Larry Bird in that next tier. I would put Larry Bird in that next tier.
I just ain't seen it, so I can't say that.
Yeah, there's a lot of dudes in that next tier though, like that second tier that I would put in there.
KD,
he's in that second tier.
He's in that second tier. Yeah, but I think there's a clear top 4, like winner take all, game on like the line, season game on the line. Yeah, I would take those 4 over anyone ever. And so yeah, playing is great. Now we can dive into NBA awards. I guess we should honestly, you want to start with MVP or you want to start with like one of the lesser cared about ones?
I thought he was going to list them and then compare.
You're right. Okay, so cool. NBA awards. My NBA awards for the 25-26 season. MVP might be a shocker. I wasn't expecting to have this before I started doing research. It's Nikola Jokic. DPOY. I have Victor
Damn.
Yeah. We not going. We going against the grain. You feel me? DPOY. I got obviously Victor Wembanyama, probably going to be the first unanimous defensive player of the year ever. Sixth man of the year. I have Jaime Jaquez. Clutch player of the year. Yeah. Clutch player of the year, Shea. Rookie of the year, Cooper Flag. Most improved player, Denny Avdija. And coach of the year, Joe Mazzulla. So boom. Those are my awards picks. I'm down to talk about any of them. You give me yours, and then we can double back.
Hold on, because I forgot to type my most improved. All right. MVP, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. I've been on this train all year. I ain't stepping off of that. I didn't pick him at the beginning of the year, but I think a month in, I was like, listen.
But you picked a good pick. Like Cade was a good pick. For then, that was a good pick.
Yeah, bro. I was on the Cade train early and on the Pistons train. I felt like they would take a step. We did. Defensive player of the year, I have Wemby as well. Rookie of the year, I have Cooper Flag as well. Sixth man, I almost took Jaime. So shout out to you, because I was about to pick Jaime, but I felt like he tailed off like mid-season, so I didn't take him. I took Kelvin Johnson. Coach of the year, JB Bickerstaff. Most improved player, Jalen Johnson.
I feel that. Okay. And so I think we've got a couple of the same, a couple of different ones. I think the one that everyone is going to be up in arms about, and I think honestly, the general public, I think Shea's going to win MVP. But if I'm looking at MVP,
the people's MVP, I think the people's MVP is Luka. Like, people have been pushing Luka basically since the beginning of March. But I think I'll explain why I picked Shea, because I think it's more than just, the Thunder have the best record in the league. Like, it's way more than that for me. But I'm gonna let you start, because I didn't think I thought you were gonna pick Luka. I didn't know you were gonna pick Jokic. I respect the Jokic pick, because I thought about it too, and I was like, I can't pivot off of SGA. We've been talking about SGA all year. So let me hear your Jokic take. I would love to hear this. I know it's gonna be some efficiency triple-double type shit, so let me lock in.
Yeah, so my MVP is Nikola Jokic. It wasn't who I was expecting to pick. I was a Shea guy, and then I started digging into the numbers, and I just can't justify not making it Jokic, to be honest. Like, he's the first player, obviously, in NBA history to lead the league in rebounds and assists, while also being 8th in points per game. He's genuinely, like, mastered the offensive side of the ball in a way that I don't think we've seen any player do so before. Obviously, the defense isn't great, but it's also not as terrible as people would want you to believe. He's also insanely good on offense, so it doesn't necessarily really matter, because the point of the game is to just outscore the other team, and he's the best in the world at making sure that gets done. He's first in daily plus minus, which measures total impact. He's first in player efficiency rating. He's created the most points in the entire NBA at 53.1 per game. He's first in expected wins added and efficiency differential. And he's, like, out of himself, SGA, and Wemby, he's the only one whose team has a negative net rating when he's off the floor. So when he's off the court, when he's on the court, they're a plus 11.2, which is the best offense in the league by an insanely wide margin. When he's off the court, the Nuggets are minus 3.3. With Wemby, the Spurs are plus 16.7 with him on, and they're plus 3.6 with him off. With SGA, which means, like, obviously they're way better with Wemby on, but they're still positive with him off. With Shea, the Thunder are plus 16.2 with him on, plus 7.3 with him off. Meaning that of the three of them, only Jokic can they say the Nuggets are actually a worse team when he's, well, not that they're a worse team, but like the difference between the Nuggets with Jokic on the court. Yeah, like the difference between the Nuggets with Jokic on the court and off the court is drastically different than the difference between the Spurs when Wemby's on and off, and Shea and the Thunder when Shea is on and off. And so, like, for him to be the most valuable player in the sport, I think that encapsulates that. Like, when he's off the court, the Nuggets aren't a good basketball team. When, you know, the Spurs and the Thunder still get along just fine when the other two aren't on the court. Obviously, when they're on the court, they're insanely good, and they're two of the top 3 teams in the league. But, like, if we're talking about impact and just, like, pure raw efficiency, and, like, when this player's on the court, we are good, and when he's off the court, we are fucked, it's Jokic for me.
Yeah. No, well, I think Jokic was the early favorite. Like coming out the gate, I think he was averaging like 30, 12, and 12, something crazy. And then he got hurt. But I do like year to year, he is the most
There's some voter
impactful
fatigue for sure.
offensive for Jokic, yes, but like also I think when you're picked, like I think regular season awards are losing their value in terms of like what's the agenda behind your pick. Like we're gonna choose something different every year, right? Like Jokic, Shea, Luka, Wemby, those are the big four for the MVP. Like they're all insanely valuable in their own right. They all have different styles of the way that they play, and they all impact the game differently. I think Jokic has the case for being like the best offensive weapon, damn near in NBA history, like
ever.
Like it's insane the way, for like his playmaking from. I think even though his playmaking is a little overblown because of the way that the NBA counts assists, sometimes can be a little misleading. But like this is not the first time he's averaged a triple double in the season. It's about the third straight year. And I think he's still a top 3 player in basketball. So like your pick isn't crazy, but I'll explain why I pick Shea. I think you talked about on and off. I looked at on and off too. I was like, damn, I need to find a good case. So I looked at the on and off. I was like, that's not good enough. The first thing I'll say is Shea. I think Shea has been the most consistent at the highest level more than anybody else. It took Wemby a few months because he started off hurt, like up and down, in and out of the lineup. Same thing with Luka at the beginning of the year. Plus, they didn't have Braun. They didn't have Austin Reeves for a time. And then Jokic also got hurt in November. But Shea has been averaging, like, his numbers have not tailed off month to month throughout the entire year. I think he's been the most consistent throughout the entire season. I don't care that the Thunder have the number 1 seed. It helps into the narrative, but I don't care about that. I think another thing that I said when I was talking about it is that he's just a better basketball player today than he was last year at this time. He won MVP. He averaged more points, but like he is a much more efficient player, and the shots that he's getting are just of higher quality. He's shooting almost 60% from mid-range. He is one of, I believe, 4 players to average 30 and shoot 55% from the field in an entire season. It's Kareem, who's obviously an all-time great. Adrian Dantley, who was great during his time. He was a perennial all-star, all-NBA player in like the early 1980s. Karl Malone, who's a top 50 NBA player of all time, regardless of the controversy. And Giannis Antetokounmpo. And one of those years for Giannis where it was an MVP season. And then you have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's the only guard to ever do this. Like, Michael Jordan didn't do it. Kobe didn't do it. Steph Curry didn't do it. And it's not like Shai is putting his head down and getting to the rim and just making a bunch of layups like Giannis is. He's a 6'6" guard taking step-back middies, taking step-back threes, hitting step-back threes at the highest rate that he's hitting his entire career. And I think also to be said, and you can say the same thing about Jokic, say the same thing about Luka. Shai's been doing this for 4 years straight. He's the only player to average 30 and shoot 50% from the field since Michael Jeffrey Jordan. This is not hyperbole. Like, he is an all-time great guard. And I think he's on a run where if he wins another championship, nasty conversations will happen. And I don't know if we're ready for those conversations, but he's only 27 years old. He may get even better. And I think the Thunder are a true championship contender. Like, I picked the Nuggets to make the finals before the year. I don't know if I still believe that because they don't have Peyton Watson. That's kind of tough. But I think he just came back like recently, like a week ago. But I just, Shai has, to me, is pretty simple. Shai's been the most consistent from start to finish. And he's much better this year than he was last year.
Yeah, and I totally
all the historic numbers.
I totally get the Shai debate, and I think for me, I think he has the most bulletproof case of any of the three, right? Like, I think,
yeah,
I think if we talk about Wemby, right, like he hasn't even played 2,000 minutes this season. Like availability is a question with Wemby. That is not a question with Shea. If we're talking about defense, where obviously Wemby is great, Jokic, defense is a question with Jokic. I think we can go back and forth on whether or not Shea is some elite defender. Nobody thinks he's a bad defender. Like he at least is a average to good defender. And then if we talk about offense, I think Wemby has some question marks where I think Shea is also one of the best offensive players, if not the best offensive player in the sport. So like, I think if we're talking about, and then if we want to talk about team success, he's also got that. And so it's like team success, offense, defense, availability, all combined into one. I think Shea does have an incredible case. And obviously I think Jokic's case depends a lot on like impact metrics and takes a lot of like narrative out of it. But I think you can pick and choose when you want to include that. Cause like, obviously I pick Jokic for MVP, but then when I go rookie of the year, I think Khan easily has the best impact metrics, but I'm not taking him over Cooper Flagg. So like, I think you can.
And that's why I said the yearly awards, like the narrative behind the yearly awards could change. That's why I feel like they're losing their luster a little bit because we can sit here and talk about impact. And the next time we're just talking about, well, who wins the most? And I think you pick and choose what you want it to be. But I think Jokic has reached a point now where LeBron once was, where like his impact is clear. Like it's never going to change, but there's some voter fatigue. And then there's also guys who are ascending to levels that we've never seen them play before. Like Jokic, I think Jokic is also better than he's ever been, but we've seen like a step below this and and he's won MVP and been rewarded for those seasons. Shea's coming off a championship where he's clearly better, coming off a championship and an MVP season where he's clearly better than he was before. And then you put in the fact that they've been missing their second best player for majority of the season. They've had an insane amount of starting lineups. And granted, the Oklahoma City Thunder are a very deep team. So like people always talk about, oh, the Thunder are the best team in the league. But like their talent level in terms of other teams in the West it's not that crazy. Like, yes, without Shea, they can hold it down. But the Spurs gave them trouble. The Nuggets sometimes give them trouble. So, like, it's not like they're the fucking 73-9 Warriors. They're a really good team, but they still need Shea to be the OKC Thunder that we fear. Like, if he's not playing, I'm chilling. Like, y'all might win a couple games in a series, but if y'all don't have Shea, like, okay, cool. Like, if it was Shea and no J-Dub, I'm still like, oh, we got to be on our A game. If it's J-Dub and no Shea, we could get it done. You know what I'm like? And Chet, I think Chet and J-Dub are really good players. I'm not trying to take anything away from them, but I think their consistency is questionable. Like game to game, they don't do what they need to do for an entire series. And last thing I'll say about the Thunder, last year they were shooting 40% from three. This year they've dropped to, I believe, 33 or 34%, which is why they traded for Jared McCain at the trade deadline. So I think that's also had an effect on their system as a whole, which has completely changed the way that they've played. Like they were pretty much a 3-point or a layup team. And now that the teams know that they can't shoot, especially the Spurs, it's changed the way that Shea's guarded. It's changed the way that they go about attacking him on defense. And I think he's responded pretty well. Like you still can't stop him from where he's trying to go. And people like to bring up the free throws. He's averaging 0.2 more free throws than he was last year. Averaged 8.8 attempts last year. He's averaging 9 this year. Big whoop. You can't guard him. That's the bottom line. He just can't be guarded.
Yeah, and I think this championship, more than any of the past, does play a big role. Well, I think this championship, more than any of the past ones, will play a big role in deciding who the face of this era is and like who's the face of the 2020s. Because I think like, there's the Kobe era, there's a LeBron era, there's a Magic era. And I think we're in this 2020s era where like Giannis has a ring. Giannis got an MVP. Jokic got a ring. Jokic got some MVPs. Shea got a ring. Shea got an MVP. You want to talk Tatum. Tatum got a ring. Jaylen Brown got a finals MVP. Jaylen Brown has a ring. And so I think like we're all kind of battling for Luka is like a bunch of all NBAs, no rings, no MVPs. But like, I think we're in the middle of deciding who this era will be, like who will be the face of this era. And so if Shea gets another ring on top of another MVP, I think he becomes the front runner for this is the Shea era. If the Celtics,
but I don't think we picked that though. I think that's the crazy part about being the face. You don't like fans don't decide who the face of the era of that era is. It just happens. Like I was talking about like how Wemby's basically the next face, but if let's say the Spurs make the finals this year. This could very well be the beginning of the Wemby era. Like, but he's not gonna come. Like, players don't come out and say, "I'm the face of the league."
No, they don't. But I think like if the Spurs make the finals and the Celtics win the chip, I think Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum has a good case to be like, hey, up from the 2020s to 2026, this is our fucking era. Like this is the Celtics era, whatever you want to say.
True.
If Jaylen Brown win 2 finals MVPs, if Jaylen Brown got 2 finals MVPs, shit, it's the Jaylen Brown era. And so
I think it could be a team thing, but I also think it's like a balance of your team being successful and you being as dominant as possible, like at all times. So that's why LeBron has his own era. That's why Steph has his own little era, and Michael Jordan has his own, and Kobe has a little bit. Him and Duncan kind of split it in the middle, but like you have to be all-time great production and team success and impactful in ways that most other players can't. So like, yeah, it's not just winning championships. It's more than that. Because I mean, like the Pistons won a championship and it was not their era. The Heat won a championship with D Wade and it wasn't their era. Like,
no, it's definitely a sustained dominance thing. But if Shea wins back-to-back MVPs,
I agree with you.
Like I think he does have a front runner case for that. But granted, we're like halfway through. Like if Shea wins this year and then the Spurs rattle off 3 of the next 4, it's the fucking Wemby era. You know
exactly. Yeah.
So I think we're in the middle of it. But if the Thunder do win this year and Shea has another dominant playoff run, I think we are currently right now in the Shea era.
Okay, so fast forward to 2030. Hypothetically speaking, who do you think is the face of the league 4 or 5 years from now?
I think probably Wemby. I think he's gonna win the next 3 DPO, assuming health, right? Like let's say he hits the 65 game threshold for the next 5 years. I think he's winning the next 5 DPOIs. I think he's winning at least 3 MVPs, and I would say he gets at least like he's already in MVP talks. Like you feel me? Like people are already saying like Wemby could be the MVP this year. So let's say 5 years from now he gets.
I think he wins it next year.
Yeah,
let's say
right.
He gets 2 in the next 4.
I'd say he gets 2 MVPs, 2 or 3 rings, 4 DPOIs. Like I think Wemby's probably the face of the league. And in terms of like I don't know, and that feels. And I also think he embodies the like mentality that people want. Like he really wants to win this shit. Like Shea is like, oh cool, I want to win. And he's giving fucking quotables, but like he's not in the All-Star game crying because Cat took a shitty 3. Like that is what they want from face of the league shit. So I think it's probably Wemby.
I would say either Wemby or Shea. I think. I saw a crazy. The Mavericks have to get good first, but yeah, he could be up there, and I think like there's other guys who are a tier below in terms of talent, like Ant, Cade, Tatum, guys like that who may never be the face of the league, but that's like this era's Harden, like 2010s, like D Wade, Melo. And that's fine. Like there's no like we've had this talk before. Like everybody can't be the GOAT. Everybody can't be, but you just be as great as you could be. I saw a crazy.
When we say Tim Duncan is ever the face of the league, I don't think Tim Duncan was ever the face of the league. Not the face
of the league, but he did have I think the Spurs and the Lakers ran the 2000s.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like you could be an all-time great. That's the best power forward ever. Top 10 player all time was never the face of the league. Like
it comes with like it's a culture thing. Also, like you have to have a little bit of excitement. Like people didn't love or kids that came and watched didn't love watching the Spurs play because Tim Duncan wasn't as flashy as Kobe or flashy as LeBron or as cool as Iverson. So like I think it's a cultural thing, and then on the court impact mix. It is a lot that comes with it, and like Wemby is a larger than life figure. And he's 22 years old, and
no off the court issues that we know.
No
of.
off the court issues, and I think he's the biggest like skeptical that come for at least a foreign player to come in since like Yao Ming. Like when Yao Ming got drafted, it was like, oh my god, this 7'6" Chinese man is coming over to the NBA, and we're fucked. And And now we got this 7'4" dude that can dribble between his legs and hit step back threes and block every shot in his vicinity. And I think, I mean, Wemby's the easy pick. I think it could easily be Shea if the Thunder run off 2 of the next 3 championships, or if they at least get to the finals. Like, if they're constantly, I think whoever's coming out of the West, like between Spurs, the Nuggets, OKC, Timberwolves, and I'll even throw the Lakers in there if they decide to re-up without Braun, because they have Luka, so they'll always be relevant. Whoever is consistently coming out of the West, that's going to probably be the face of the league. But the thing about Wemby is Wemby cannot win a championship in the next 4 years and still has the 2030s to run that whole decade. He's 22 years old. Like, Braun didn't win his first chip till he was 28. Same thing with MJ. So, like, it doesn't have to be you got to win at 23, 24. That's what I was saying about Tatum when the Celtics won. Like, you don't have to be 25 winning your first chip. Like,
but I think they won late, but they also had such dominant runs that it didn't matter, right? So like MJ wins at 28, wins 3 in a row, takes a couple years off, win another 3 in a row. Braun goes to 10 straight finals. Like it's like
but
historic.
The thing about being generationally great, which I think a lot of people discount, is that you come into the league and there's guys ahead of you, and you make your mark in that first like half decade, but then you run that next half. So like Braun comes in 2003 up until 2010. Yeah, like he's historically great, putting up insane numbers, winning 2 MVPs, no championships. 2010s runs through it, wins 4 championships in the 2010s. So like, or 3 championships and then 1 in 2020. Same thing with Jordan, like comes in the league, wins MVP within his first 4 years, runs the 90s. And I think like that middle ground that Kobe and Duncan are in is where a lot of these guys can fall into, where like you're sharing the mantle, and that's fine. But before we move on, did you know that?
Well, last thing I'll say is I do think, like you said, it's like a passing of the baton, and I think of like the 2023 Warriors, right? Like versus that Celtics team. Like that Celtics team was great. They got to the finals and they just weren't ready. Like they just were not ready to win a championship. And then they get back 2 years later, and it's like, oh, we are going to dominate Luka. Like we are going to win this game. We're going to win this series easily. And like 2 years ago, they just were not ready to do that. And so I totally agree with you. And that like, hey, you wait your turn. You let the remnants of that last era kind of get their shit off. And then it's like, hey, when it's our time, that shit is done. And we go on to the next era. And so I think that's kind of what we're in now with like the KDs, the Kawhis, the Stephs, the Hardens, all of that. And so, yeah, what were you going to say?
So Wemby led the league in blocks his first 3 years, and there's only been 3 players that have led the league in blocks 4 times, and I'm assuming Wemby's gonna lead the league in blocks next year.
7 times.
I'm curious how many times he's gonna lead the league. I would say like, I'm gonna say 7, 6 or 7.
Yeah. And I mean, I think
you know what's crazy? I always say
it's a crazy 2 numbers. It's a crazy numbers that you just say.
But it's a good middle ground. Yeah, it's a good middle ground, because I don't want to say 9. Like,
yeah. No, and I think just to close on Wemby, like I think he's probably gonna. There's never been a unanimous DPOY. I think maybe some weird voter is like, oh, Evan Mobley or like something like that. But I think he's easily gonna win it this year. I think. Everyone knows he's the best defensive player in the sport. And so when I was looking up on-off stuff, I came across this stat. Like when he's on the court, the Spurs have a 106.9 defensive rating, which is second to just the Thunder. But when he's off the court, the Spurs have a 115.6 defensive rating, which would be 21st in the NBA. So he single-handedly is like carrying an entire defensive unit by himself. Like he's a walking top 2 defense. And I think he legitimately is one of the most impactful single defenders that we have ever seen. And so I think Wemby for me is the easy DPOY. If you want to talk
Coop.
Let's go. Talk. Yeah. Come on.
Let's talk about.
They called me a madman. Talk
what you talking about?
When I did that redraft.
Well, listen, Cade won Rookie of the Year. Ant won Rookie of the Year.
He did.
The one thing I'll say about that the Rookie of the Year race in general, I think it was fantastic. Like you got honestly 3 rookies because I think VJ Edgecombe is also really good. Mm-hmm. But Con Knipple has already established himself as a premier shooter in the league in his rookie year, which was insane to think about. Like if this was 10 years ago, but now that we are in the era of basketball that we're in, it makes perfect sense. And I think he will be like, when it's all said and done, probably be in the top 5 for 3-pointers made or something like that if he stays healthy. But Cooper Flag, listen, man. Sometimes you watch basketball and you're like, man, look at his numbers. They're so good. And, hey, it didn't seem like he had 20, but on here it says he has 30. And then you have the dudes that's like, hey, man, he averaged 20, but he's just nice.
Yeah.
Hey, Coop just nice. The talent oozes on the court. Pause. He is the only player, the second player since 1973 to lead his team in points, rebounds, assists, and steals.
Yeah.
And if you want to, the first rookie, the only other player to do it, of course, is Michael Jeffrey Jordan, because why not? I also think from a talent perspective, he's the best rookie in the league. He's also the youngest player to score 50 points in an NBA game. He scored 40 twice, another 2 times. He was the youngest to do that when he did that. And he was the youngest to go on a scoring streak of 30-point games. So, he's in territory of, having one of the best rookie seasons of all time with Michael Jordan, which I don't honest to God, I don't think anybody's ever going to pass Michael Jordan.
I looked up how much he averaged as a rookie. That was nuts. I was like, what?
Brother.
What? 28 or some shit like 20, that. I was like,
20, 26, 27 as a rookie.
Yeah.
And they was playing him 40 minutes a game. They were running him into the ground, and he had no jumper. He was just straight buckets, straight buckets, boy. But in the I'll put Jordan in his own tier. But that second realm of LeBron, Shaq, even Wemby, and even though he didn't win it, Carmelo Anthony averaged 20 as a rookie. And then you put Cooper Flag. You could throw Zion in there, his first season.
Paolo had a great rookie year. I'm not gonna lie.
Paolo did have a great rookie year. Another one who had a great rookie year that we forget about, Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin averaged 20 and 10 his first season. So he's already in elite company. And then on top of that, I think his impact on the court is very clear. He is already a pretty good 2-way player. I think obviously there's room to grow, but you throw him in a situation where you're asking him to save a franchise. And I think if you're the Dallas Mavericks front office, you feel pretty good today, even though the dude that traded your franchise player got kicked out of the door. And it's still one of the dumbest trades in NBA history. You just got fucking lucky. Cooper Flag is as advertised. He is potentially a generational talent. He's off to a great start. And I think the Mavericks have a lot to build on, but it's a pretty good start to a new era of Mavericks basketball. And I think Cooper Flag he's not going to win unanimous, but I don't think anybody should vote Con Knipple to actually win the award.
Yeah, I think, and Grant, and I think the Mavs feel fine about it right now. And Nico, for what it's worth, this was his argument, right? Okay, we have Cooper Flag, a young, up-and-coming, might-be generational guy, and the Lakers have Luka, who isn't playing in the first round and this ain't the first time that he hasn't played in the first round. And it's that I think that was Nico's point of hey, the cool when he's playing and he's scoring 33 and everything's great, that's great. But when we need you to play basketball games, are you going to be available? And this is not the first time. This is not the first time that Luka ain't been available, and Jalen Brunson had to backpack them boys to get to the next round. And so I get it. I'm not gonna say I get it because that's still the dumbest trade ever. And Luka's my franchise player, and I love him, and it's great. But if I'm Nico Harrison right now, I'm feeling hey, this is what the fuck I told you was going to happen. And so my thing personally, I think Con getting benched single-handedly destroys his rookie of the year convo, because what is the case for Con Knipple? The impact metrics, they are better when he's on the court. Listen, man,
that is true.
Shit, all that shit goes out the window when it's a winner go home game with our season on the line, and we can't put you on the fucking floor. Like, if the Mavs are in that scenario, do you think in any way Cooper Flagg would get benched? No. I don't give a fuck what Khan's box plus minus DPM LeBron are, because in the exact scenario where we need you to prove that you're an impactful player, you were on the fucking bench. So like, at the end of the day,
but it's also like Cooper Flagg is the best player on his team. Khan Knippel is like, he's the engine of the offense. He's the leading scorer. He has to play make for everybody because their point guard has been out the whole year. He's also got a rebound because their centers get hurt. Derek Lively missed damn near the entire season, and Daniel Gafford has paper mache ankles. So like, the team is ass. They suck.
And like you said, the first player since Jordan to lead his team in points, rebounds, assists, steals. Like, he's doing everything for them, dropping 50, most 40-point games as a teenager. Like, there's no player there's no human that's going to watch Cooper Flagg, what he did this year, and watch what Khan did this year and be like, Cooper Flagg is the second best rookie this year. It's just not true. So whatever you want to say, impact metrics, I don't give a fuck. It's Cooper Flagg. And
shout out to Khan, though.
Shout out to Khan. He's a good player. It makes you sound like you're a Khan hater, but like, Khan is a great player, but he's just not Cooper Flagg, and that's okay. Like, that's great. That's perfectly fine.
It was still a great pick by Charlotte.
Yeah,
and he fits perfectly, and I think he could fit on 100% of teams in the NBA. Like, you put him on any team, he's gonna fit right in because his skill set is as versatile as one can be for it. Like, he's not just a shooter, he's a good scorer and a good all-around player, and he's a better defender than he gets credit for. I just think Cooper Flagg is a better player and has been asked to do a lot more than Khan has, and that's fine.
Clutch player of the year, we can knock that out. For me, that's Shea. He has the most clutch points in the NBA this year. Cool. That's great. Sixth man of the year, I took Jaime Jaquez. I was between Jaime and Keldon. I went with Jaime because he was asked to do a lot of different shit because Spoelstra was switching up systems. There's players in and out of the lineup. And the Heat are just better when he's on the court, whereas the Spurs are good with Keldon on the court, but they're even better with him off of it. So, Jaime was +5 in expected wins added. Keldon was -2. I just also think he has a harder job than Keldon. Like, he was on ball 25.3% of the time, and Keldon was on ball 11.8% of the time. Like, Jaime was just asked to do more, and he did it well. And the Spurs are the Spurs, like, I don't know that they necessarily live or die whether or not Keldon Johnson plays. Whereas, like, Jaime was a key part in what the Heat were able to do this season.
Rotation.
Yeah, like, he's a key part in what they were able to do this season with Hero out, with Bam out, with everyone in and out of the lineup. So yeah, for me it was Jaime. Who was your sixth man?
Hey, shout out my Mexican King Jaime, man.
Shout out.
I don't think he's gonna win sixth man of the year. Which is why I didn't pick him, because I just feel like you made a great argument and you kind of killed my argument. But I picked Keldon Johnson because I feel like even though the metrics don't say that he's the most impactful sixth man, I think with what he's been asked to do and how his role has changed over the years, like when they he was a former first round or former lottery pick, and now he's being asked to come off the bench and give productive, impactful minutes, and he's done that. Like, they're not asking him to run the offense because they have Dylan Harper coming off the bench. They're not asking him to sometimes they are asking him to guard like the best wing at times. Like, if Harrison Barnes can't stay with a guy, they're gonna ask Keldon Johnson to guard him. And a lot of the like Wemby's been in and out of the lineup. Stephon Castle's missed a handful of games, so like there has been times where he's had to step up. I do think you make a great point where his job is not as hard as Jaime's was, because I think Jaime's just asked to do more. And the Spurs are a better team than the Heat. Like, the Heat stink. Yeah. Don't get me started, bro. They're ass. But I think when you count on the fact that the Spurs took a huge leap this year and they're second in the West and they had 60 wins, I think Keldon is a big part of that. Like, I don't think when you think of the Spurs, you don't really think of Keldon Johnson. But then when you play them and you realize he's giving you 13 to 15 off the bench, an efficient one at that, it's kind of hard to stop. And I think his game is very versatile to where he doesn't need the ball in his hands, which as Jaime doesn't, it's not that he needs it in his hands, but he's not a shooter. So like, if he's not posting up and fading away, like, you can pack the paint and get the ball out of his hands, it's a little bit harder to get the ball out of or to plan to stop Keldon Johnson, which is a crazy sentence to say.
Yeah.
And also Jaime played a lot more minutes than Keldon Johnson. Like he played
Mhm.
28 minutes a game. So I think Jaime, even though he is
kind of like a gimmicky six man,
he's like a gimmicky starter. Like he plays starter minutes as a 6-man. And as a Heat fan, I can tell you that man is in the closing lineup most nights.
Yeah, I feel that. The last two are coach and most improved. I can give my coach quickly. For me, it's Joe Mazzulla. It was supposed to be a gap year for the Celtics. They won 5 less games than they did last year, and they finished as a 2 seed in the East. He developed guys like Neemias Queta and Baylor Shireman and Jordan Walsh into real rotation players. Tatum comes back. Could have ruined the entire flow of the system that they had spent the last 5 months building. Nope, they go 13-3, and somehow he seamlessly fits Tatum back into the rotation. So for me, it's Joe Mazzulla.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that. That's a great pick, and honestly, he probably will win it. But I picked JB Bickerstaff. I think when you factor in the fact that the Pistons have been the best team in the East all season, I don't think anyone picked them to be the number 1 seed when we had our preseason thing. I think I had them second, but I thought there was a significant. And then you look at the Pistons roster, and they didn't add an all-star or superstar. They added a couple shooters, and they said, hey, we're just going to run it back and bank on our players' development. You come out of it with damn near superstar in Cade Cunningham and a new all-star in Jalen Duren.
Yeah.
And on top of that, a lot of young guys that are scrappy. They defend. They play with high energy. And honestly, like the Pistons as a team, for as young as they are, they play very, very mature outside of Isaiah Stewart, who just wants to knuck if you buck. But I think JB Bickerstaff has done a great job building this team, building a culture. And I haven't felt like this about the Pistons since the Ben Wallace, Chauncey Billups days, where like, if you get into a series with the Pistons, it's going to be a dogfight for every single game. You kind of saw stretches of that last year, but this year they've fully established themselves as maybe the most physical team in the NBA. And I think the only team that I saw them struggle against truly was the Spurs. And yeah, JB Bickerstaff for a team that's not as might not be as talented as the Celtics, might not be as talented as the Knicks, but they overachieve and they know their roles. Did you say your most improved too?
I'll tell you my most improved in a second. I just think you make a great point with JB Bickerstaff in that, like, hey, even though, like, even when Cade was out, right? Because obviously Cade missed a lot of March, some of April with the collapsed lung, they were still hooping. They were 13-3 without him this year, and that stretch they went like 8-3 or something like that, 8-2, something like that. Dennis Jenkins steps up, Karis LeVert steps up, Ron Holland and Asar Thompson, like they're just getting, like I
and even Tobias Harris still giving quality minutes, as the vet of the team.
So I totally give credit to JB Bickerstaff. My most improved, I have Denny Avdia. I just think like first-time All-Star guy who went from 16.9 points to 24.2 points, 41.2 created points per game for his team, 14 the most in the entire NBA. He was 100 percentile usage rate player this year. Obviously he's a bad defender, but he does carry like such a heavy load on offense that I understand. And like bottom line for me, when the game's on the line, the Pistons go to Cade. They're not going to Jalen Duren. The Hawks go to Jalen Johnson or CJ McCollum. They're not going to Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I think there's no doubt that the Blazers go to Denny. And so, yeah, I think he was the only guy of the three that I considered, which is like Nickeil, Duren, and Denny, that was asked to lead a franchise to the playoffs this season. Obviously, your pick, Jalen Johnson, was also asked that. And I also think with Denny, like a lot of shit happened with the Blazers this year. Their coach got packed for being with the mob. Like, I think like if you consider everything that happened with the Blazers this year and what he was thrown into, for them to be the 7th seed, like that's a hell of an achievement for them. So I'm taking Denny as my most improved.
Yeah, I'm not mad at the Denny pick. I think the lack of Denny picks is more political than we'd like to admit, but hey, America.
Yeah.
My most improved is Jalen Johnson. I think a similar case to the Blazers, where like the Hawks come into the season and they think they're gonna build around Trae Young, a core of Trae Young and Jalen Johnson, and I guess Onyeka Okongwu. They bring in Nikhil Alexander-Walker, and then you end up trading the guy that's been your franchise player for the last 8 years, and you still make the playoffs and still secure a playoff spot, like not a play-in spot. You are solidified as the 5th seed in the East, in an Eastern Conference that's more competitive than it's been in the last few years. And Jalen Johnson just improved tremendously as a player. Like, he is a true triple-double threat. He had 13 triple-doubles this year, and he is one of 2 players this year to have 1,500 points, 500 rebounds, 500 assists. I'm going to assume the other person, because I don't know who the other person is, but I'm assuming it's Nikola Jokic. Yeah, like he's a unique offensive player, and he's the best player on a team that, honestly, once you lose your quote-unquote best player, not expected to do much after that. And they've made a nice little run here at the end of the season. Yeah, for the year, he's averaging 22.5 points, 10 rebounds, and basically 8 assists. Needs to improve his jump shot a little bit, but we're just talking about guys that go from year to year to improve the most.
Yeah. And so those are our that's true. He was.
To mention that.
And so yeah, those are our NBA award picks. Now we can move over to our series predictions, our playoff talk. And so we can start in the East. Let's start in the East. We have the Detroit Pistons versus whoever wins tonight's game versus Charlotte and Orlando. I'm going to say it's the Hornets, because even though I think that there's a way that the Magic win this game, I think the more fun option is the Hornets, and I don't necessarily think it matters who wins, because I'm taking the Pistons in 5 over either of them, but I'm going to say it's the Hornets, so I'm taking the Pistons in 5. I think Charlotte is good enough to win a game. Like, I think Charlotte is going to take a game off the Pistons. I could even see them taking 2. I just don't think they have a good matchup for Cade. I don't think that they have like the size to out rebound the Pistons. I also think the Pistons have a flurry of good defenders to put on Cade, to put on Melo and Khan and Brandon Miller. And I think that the Pistons beat the Hornets 3 times this season, and they blew them out 2 of those times. And I think that's for a reason. So I'm going to take the Pistons, even though they're a young team. I'm taking the Pistons in 5. Who you
got? I also think the Hornets win tonight. But it doesn't matter, because I think the Pistons sweep whoever they play. I don't even give. I'm not giving the Hornets a game. I'm not giving the Magic a game. I think the only way the Hornets get a game is if they get hot from 3, which they can. But it was clear as day that they really do live and die by the 3. Like, I'm watching them dribble past the rim to circle back out to shoot a 3 when there's a layup wide open. I think the Hornets are a really solid team. But the Pistons have been the best team in the East all year. They've been one of the best teams in the league all year. If you want to put Brandon Miller on Cade Cunningham, good luck. He's a solid defender, but he can't stop him. And then on top of that, I think, I really don't want to like shit on LaMelo, because I don't think he's a bad player, but I think his play style, while it is impactful, I think a lot of the shots that he settles for is like putting all of your eggs into one basket. Like, he's not really taking the floater unless you're playing drop. So he's either taking a really, really deep 3 or he's trying to get to the rim. But most of the time, it's a really, really deep 3 off one leg or a step back, which, I mean, is fine. But at the end of the day, I think while it's exciting, a lot of the times it's not as effective as it could be. But I do think he's still impactful on the offensive end. I do think it will be an entertaining series, given the fight that happened earlier this year and the play style of both teams. But I don't think the Hornets get a game.
Boom. There we go. Next up, we have Boston versus Philly, Celtics versus Sixers. This is another easy one for me. I'm not going to lie. I think I'm going to assume that Embiid does not play. And with Tatum playing, I think this is an easy Celtics sweep. I'm saying Celtics in 4. I think the talent disparity is real. I think you're going to just have a bunch of Sixers guards trying to go one-on-one against a loaded defense in the Celtics, a championship-tested team, a championship-tested coach, a finals MVP. When fully healthy, for me, Jason Tatum was a top 5 player in the world. And I think he's getting back to finding that realm of the player that he is. And so I just think that this is going to be an easy series for the Celtics, to be honest. Like, this is going to be Celtics in 4. Who you got?
Yeah, same thing for me. Celtics in 4. Even with Embiid, I think they might get a game, but like, it's tough to rely on, like you said, isolation scoring. Love Tyrese Maxey, but like that's a lot to ask for a guy who's undersized and has to rely on his speed to get by elite defenders, which most of the time works because he is one of the fastest players in the league. And then you're asking Paul George to be Paul George of old. You're also asking for contributions from a rookie and VJ Edgecombe. So like, there's a lot going on if Embiid's not playing. And even if he is playing, like what version of Embiid are you getting?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's just easier to bet on the Celtics, and whether Embiid plays or not, I think it's a 4-game series. I don't think Philly gets a game.
Yeah. Now on to one of the more exciting matchups of the Eastern Conference playoffs and the playoffs in general, to be honest. Knicks Hawks. I'm gonna let you go first on this one. So talk to me. Who you got?
I am taking the Knicks. I'm gonna say Knicks in 6. The Hawks are they're a talented team overall, but they don't have like a Jalen Brunson level player, in my opinion. Like Jalen Johnson is really good, but he's not like a top 15 player. And I think the Hawks have a lot of younger guys, like a lot of guys that haven't been in the playoffs. And in turn, I think they will win a couple games, but at the end of the day, the Knicks have way more experience. They've got one of the best or two of the best wing defenders in the league. I think they'll give Jalen Johnson as much trouble as they can. And then I'm taking Jalen Brunson, playoff Jalen Brunson, if you will, over whatever the Hawks have to offer. So I'm taking Knicks in 6.
I'm taking Hawks in 7.
Oh,
let's go.
You think that's crazy?
I'm taking Hawks.
You
in
trolling?
7.
Are you dead ass?
I'm dead ass. This is my playoff hot take. We just haven't gotten there yet. But so when we eventually get there, this is gonna be.
It sounds like we're here. No, it sounds like it might as well just explain it.
I'll explain it more then and go into my rant. But I'm taking Hawks in 7. I just think the Hawks are a really good team, and I think they match up pretty decent against the Knicks. Like since trading for CJ McCollum, they've been a different team, to be honest. In the past 60 days, they've been second in defensive rating, 7th in offensive rating. I think that the rotations obviously get tighter. And I think the Knicks are the deeper team. I think the Hawks don't have as much depth. Like you're counting on guys like Gabe Vincent and Jonathan Kuminga and Buddy Hield to like put up good playoff numbers. But I think the rotation is going to tighten in a way that like I think that this is going to be a really good series, and I think it's going to go either way. I could see the Knicks winning. I think they're the favorites, obviously. But if I'm looking for a playoff upset and a hot take, I'm taking the Hawks. And I think that they have a lot of different guys to throw at Jalen Brunson. They've got Dyson Daniels, former defensive player of the year. Nickeil Alexander-Walker is not a bad defender. CJ McCollum is not a good defender whatsoever. There's also nobody other than Dyson Daniels, I guess, for Jalen Brunson to guard, like, okay, cool. They're probably going to stick him on Dyson. And then like, other than that, they're going, they're happy with it. So I don't know. I think that
happy.
I don't think they're happy, but like I'm not shivering in my boots seeing Cat guard Jalen Johnson or like I'm not shaking. And
I think OG guards Jalen Johnson,
and I think they put. I'm cool with that. I'll live with that. OG's great. OG's
an elite defender, bro.
OG's great. They'll stick Nickeil on CJ or Nickeil, and great. Josh Hart will guard the other one.
CJ.
Yeah. I think that they match up well. I also think that the Hawks match up well against the Knicks too, though. Like I think that it goes both ways. And granted,
I just think it just feels like the Knicks are more prepared. Like they're just coming off seasons where their rotations were tight all season. They've been playing 42 minutes of basically the same core for the last 3 years. And they have a lot of good players with playoff experience.
Yeah, they have a lot of good players. Like I'm saying, I would not be shocked if they won, but I'm gonna take the Hawks. Fuck it.
I think the reason I also think there's not a false connotation around the Knicks because they've struggled a little bit in the second half of the year, but like I just feel like they're waiting to like unveil something on offense. Like when they were playing the Celtics, I believe that was last week. They were getting criticized for not running pick and rolls basically all year. Then all of a sudden they start running Cat and Brunson pick and rolls. It's crazy. I think if they just run the offense the way it's intended to be, I think the Knicks will the Hawks are not a pushover by any means. But I just think the Knicks are too experienced, and they're a little bit more talented than the Hawks are overall.
Yeah, and I think that's fair. I'm not like, I think I'm obviously in the minority here, and so I'm not going to try and defend it any more than I have. But I'm gonna take the Hawks at 7. Let's ride.
Hey, and so
the last Eastern Conference series is Cleveland Toronto. Yeah, I think this is easily the most boring. Watch this be a crazy series.
It's gonna be
7.
Insane. It's gonna go OT. Yeah, it's gonna be like that Celtics Bulls series from 2009. We're gonna be like, this series stinks, and then all of a sudden it's going 7.
I am taking Cavs in 6. I'm taking Cavs in 5. I think the Raptors take a game off them. I just don't think the Raptors are that good of a team. Like, I don't think their starting lineup is great. Scotty Barnes, quickly, Brandon Ingram, that trio is a plus 3.9. Like, I'm just not, it's not moving me. Whereas I think the Cavs starting lineup is very good. They are also very top heavy though. And so I think like outside of their top 6 or 7, shit starts to get a little shaky, but that 6 or 7 is very good, And so I'm gonna say that you just finds its way in. And so I'm gonna say that the Cavs take care here. I think they have a lot of guys with playoff experience, obviously Harden, obviously Donovan Mitchell. And so give me the Cavs in 6. Cavs in 5, my bad.
I also have Cavs in 5. I think the Raptors just don't beat good teams. Like, a lot of the teams that they beat this year have been teams below 500. But I will say Scotty Barnes is having the best year of his career, and I think Brandon Ingram's having a better year than a lot of people know about, because a lot of people just don't pay attention to the Raptors that much. And I'm interested to see how they play together in the playoffs, because I think Brandon Ingram's play style is very adjustable when it comes to getting to the playoffs. Like, he's essentially a 3-level scorer, and can get to his spots, and he has the size and the length to shoot over people, and he's not a bad defender. No. And I believe, is this Scotty Barnes' first year in the playoffs?
I want to say yes.
And I'm excited to see Scotty Barnes in the playoffs for the first time. As an all NBA defender, a very versatile player, one of the best athletes in the league. Like, he's clearly the face of this franchise, and I think we haven't gotten a Toronto playoff game in quite some time, so I think they'll be excited, which is why I think they get a game. But if this series goes past 5, the Cavs are in trouble.
Raptors got some juice.
Something went terribly wrong. That means something went wrong. Either Harden is stinking it up, the lights are too bright for Jared Allen, or Donovan Mitchell or Mobley not playing up to par. Something went terribly wrong if this series goes 6.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you. That's why I took 5. Moving to the West, we have the Thunder versus either the Warriors or the Suns. I'm going to say it's the Warriors for fun. Regardless, it does not matter. I'm taking the Thunder in 4, regardless of who they play. I think, and we just talked about how Steph is like the ultimate elimination game, winner take all. So you would think, like, if anyone can get you a game, it's Steph. I just think the Thunder are too good for him to take a game off. They played them 4 times this season. The Thunder won by 24, 12, 37, and 7. If the Warriors had Jimmy Butler, I'd give him a shot. I'd give him a puncher's chance. But I don't even think they have that. So Thunder in 4. Who you got?
Yeah, Thunder in 4. Like you said, if they had Jimmy, I would maybe say Thunder in 5.
Yeah.
But I think I remember, like you just said, like, oh, you got Steph, you're gonna get a game. That is no longer true. Like, we used to say, you have, like, you got Braun gonna get you a game, Steph could get you a game, like Harden could get you a game, KD could get you a game. That is no longer true. The league is too talented for one guy to just break out and have, unless the score is 95 to 87. A 40-point game for one guy is not going to save you. And the Thunder are the best team in the West. They're finally fully healthy. And I didn't want to get to it. I didn't want to get to it too early, but I did want to talk about my breakout player. I think it's going to be Jared McCain. I think Jared McCain has slowly etched himself into the Thunder's rotation. His value is very clear. And I think there's going to be times where they truly, truly need him, because he is one of the better shooters in the league. And I think his value on offense is more valuable than like people realize. Like his off ball movement is damn near elite. He's a really good shooter and he can score off the dribble. Defensively, but like he's a 6'2" guard. So
he's a good player, bro. Like the
he's
Sixers trading him is crazy to me.
Like, he's just a good basketball player. And I think at some point, it may not be this series, but at some point in this run, if they want to get back to the finals, they're going to need Jared McCain or they're going to need some type of guard production off the bench, whether that's AJ Mitchell or Jared McCain. And I think it's going to be Jared McCain. But granted, yeah, Thunder and 4. I feel bad because the Warriors stink, but honestly, I'm gonna start blaming Steph in a second because brother, you can easily just say I want to get out of here, but yeah, clearly you love something. So
yeah, so that moves us to Spurs Trailblazers. This is another easy one for me. Shout out to the Trailblazers. They had to put up with a lot of crazy shit this year. I just think that the Spurs are a different tier of team than they are currently. Yeah. Like, and Portland has a lot of good defenders. They got Toumani Camara, they've got Drew Holiday, and I think that they play good basketball. Donovan Clingan, who's a great player, also they play good basketball. Denny Avdija obviously just had a monster game versus the Suns, but I think they're not a good shooting team, and they're not they're not going to be able to score at the rim, which is going to basically eliminate their offense. I'm not going to lie. Like, if you're not a good shooting team and Wemby makes it impossible to score at the rim, your shot diet is a bunch of mid-range jumpers, and that's just not going to win a series. So yeah, I'm going to take Spurs, and Spurs are a young team, so I'm going to say that they drop a game, but I'm going to take Spurs in 5.
Yep. Same. I got Spurs in 5. I think it could go 6 if you get a Denny game, like the playing game that we just got, plus some production from the young guys off the bench. But yeah, you're like the matchup is intriguing to me because I do think the Trailblazers are their style is very similar to the Spurs. Like, they're a rough young team. They defend. They're not like the greatest shooting team in the world. They get it out of the mud. And like Clingan, I don't know if he can guard Wemby, but I think his size can bother Wemby a little bit. And Drew Holiday is still a pretty damn good defender. And if you're getting any type of offensive production consistently from Toumani Camara, you are happy. So I'd say they get a game. If they get 2, I'd say job well done and a slap on the ass, but Spurs in 5.
Yeah. Next up is what I think is probably the most fun, exciting series of the entire playoff landscape. Denver, Minnesota, Jokic versus Ant, Nuggets versus Wolves. Who you got in this series? Yeah. Do it on you, buddy.
Now I'm gonna take Nuggets in. Damn. I'm gonna say Nuggets in 7. Nuggets in 7.
I think they go 7 again. Okay.
The last time they played, they went 7. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna say Nuggets in 6. I don't think the Timberwolves are as good as they were last year. I do think they have a good plan to attack Jokic. Like, they do give Jokic a lot of trouble. But I think the Nuggets are way better than they were a couple years ago. They're way better than they were last year. They've got a lot of guys that come off the bench and produce at a high level. Tim Hardaway Jr., Cam Johnson is like up and down, but when he's on, he's on. Peyton Watson, Julian Strawther, Bruce Brown at times. And like, at some point, it's like, my goodness, how many good value bench players do these guys have, where like they're guys that weren't highly scouted or highly touted, and I don't know if it's because they're playing with Jokic or their skill set fits in so well, but it's a lot to deal with when you already got to deal with Jokic, and then you throw on top Jamal Murray, who's averaging 25 points a game, and on top of that, Aaron Gordon, who when he's healthy is one of the better third, fourth options in the league. Like, he's established himself as a really, really good NBA player, a very valuable player. I do think we get a 40 piece from Ant at some point, but I don't know if it's enough. Like, I still think the Timberwolves have issues at the guard spot. Like, even though Dante DiVincenzo's a good player and Ayo Dosunmu's a good player, like, they just don't get enough production from that spot. But if they get hot, this could go 7. We've seen the Timberwolves get hot and hit a bunch of threes, and Naz Reid turn into Jelly Fam Nas, and
Julius Randle is
Julius
prime
Randle
Durk.
gets hot. Yeah, right. So like, I think the reason I'm picking the Nuggets, I just think the Timberwolves are way more inconsistent from game to game. Like you really never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
And I trust the production, the consistency of Jokic, the consistency of Aaron Gordon, and the ability of Jamal Murray to get high at any moment. Like Jamal Murray could come out and score 50 in any game. Yeah. So I'm taking that. I'm taking the Nuggets in 6. They still my pick to make the finals. I got to stick with it because they still look good. So I got to stick with my pick.
I'm also going Nuggets in 6. I think this is going to be an incredible series. I think obviously there's a real rivalry here. Like Denver beats Minnesota 2 years ago, and then Minnesota beats Denver. They go 7, and it's popping it. And hasn't lost a series before the Western Conference Finals for the last 2 years. Like I think that this is a real opportunity for Ant to stamp like, hey, it doesn't matter what seed I am, does not matter what our record is. If you're seeing me in a playoff series, all bets are off the table. I don't think he's going to do that, but I think that is, if they do win this game, it's like, all right, shit, I guess we're just not picking against Ant until Western Conference Finals. And so I think this is the most complete team that Denver has put around Jokic. And I think that this team is just very good. Like, I think the Nuggets are good. I just made my Jokic MVP case. This is one of the best seasons he's ever had. And so if I think he's the best player in the league, I can't say he's a first round exit. And so I'm gonna take the Nuggets in 6. But I think Ant puts up a fight. I think the not having Nickeil Alexander-Walker, as much as they tried to supplement that with Ayo Dosunmu was not So I think that's going to be a tough loss for them. I think they're not as deep as they used to be. But at the end of the day, they have Anthony Edwards. And for the last 2 years, that's all that's fucking mattered. So I think the Wolves are going to have a case, but I'm taking Nuggets in 6. On to Lakers, Houston. Lakers versus Rockets. Obviously, it is the Lakers without Luka and Reeves for the foreseeable future, both out indefinitely. We are talking about LeBron James, Luke Kennard, Rui Hachimura, Marcus Smart, and DeAndre Ayton starting lineup. If Luka and Austin were playing, I would say Lakers in 5. Instead, I'm going to say Lakers in 6. I'm not picking against this. I'm not picking against Bron. 15-3 in first round series. This is not some Rockets team that is these world beaters. Like, I could see, don't let the Lakers win game 1. Don't let the Lakers win game 1. Because then if we see them bleed, if we believe it is possible, I truly believe if the Lakers win game 1, then they win the series. If they don't win game 1,
y'all got home court advantage, bro.
We got home court advantage. I think people are being like weird, or Lakers fans are getting like super weird about like, oh, Luka's back by game 3. Luka's not coming back by game 3. I think the only way Luka comes back game 3 is if Bron gets us a game. If we go into game 5 and the series is 3-1, 2-2, Luka's playing game 5. Let it be 2-2. Let it be 3-1 us. He's not playing, obviously. But I think if the series is anything but 3-0, by the time we get to game 4 or 5, Luka Doncic will play. So if Bron gets us a game, I think Luka comes back, and then I think all bets are off at that point. So I'm taking Lakers in 6. Obviously, I'm a delusional fucking Lakers fan. So I get it. I get that I might be saying fucking nonsense, but I'm not picking against us, at least in the first round. If we win and we got to see them boys in OKC, GG's. But until then, I'm taking Lakers in 6. Who you got?
I got the Rockets in 6. I'm not a big fan of the Rockets. Like, I don't really love the way they play. I don't love the way they're coached. I don't really love what they bring in terms of like intensity night to night. So I do think the Lakers give them a little bit of trouble, but at the end of the day, like, come on, man.
It's Bron.
I know you a Laker fan. It is Bron.
It's Bron.
But this ain't the Bron. This not the Bron I know.
I'm not asking you for one more day. I'm not asking you for one more year. I'm asking you for one more series, bro. You got one more series.
That's 2 weeks. That's 2 weeks.
I just need one more.
That series gonna be at least 2 weeks. with no Luka, no Reeves. He gonna look to his left and see Marcus Smart, and then he gonna look to his right and see DeAndre Ayton. My bad.
Yeah,
and he's just gonna shake his head. He's gonna try to do it. I think we're gonna have one vintage Braun game for sure.
35, 11, and 10.
Yeah. Like a 37, 15, and 8 on the road. The Lakers just don't have enough, if I'm being real. I do want to pick the Lakers like real bad, but it's a lot to overcome. I'm interested to see how they defend the Rockets because, good God, the Rockets, their offense is so bad, but their defense is really good. So, like, I do think there's a lot they can throw at Braun, given the fact that if DeAndre Ayton is beating us, okay. Like, if Luke Kennard is, you don't want Luke Kennard to light you up, but like if we have to get the ball out of Braun's hands to give it to Luke Kennard, all right. Might even see some Bronny minutes. We might see some Bronny minutes.
We will see some Bronny minutes. Trust me. He's been in the rotation.
He's been in the rotation since he went out. Yeah. We're going to get some Bronny and Braun minutes. That's going to be cool to see. But other than that, the Lakers just don't have enough, if I'm being real. I'm going to give y'all a couple games because I do think the Rockets are an unserious basketball team. But, yeah, sorry, buddy.
I think that's fair. I'm not mad at anyone that picks against us in this series. And so, yeah, that's our playoff series predictions for round 1. Before we get out of here, we're just going to run through a couple of like easy, quick hitting playoff questions. My first one for you: who is your breakout player of the 2026 NBA playoffs?
Doc Rivers just retired, but
yeah, like I said, who is your breakout?
I said earlier that it would be, I'm gonna give one for the East and one for the West. For the West, I said Jared McCain, but like breakout, it doesn't mean like, oh my God, this guy's gonna be an all-star next year. Just like a guy that you didn't anticipate breaking out and having so much impact in the series. So in the West, I'm gonna say Jared McCain for the same reasons I said earlier. His play style and the things that he contributes to the team is very valuable for what they need. They need shooting. They need a little bit more playmaking and shot creation. And I think at some point on the Thunder's run, especially if they play the Spurs or they play the Nuggets, they're going to need some guard creation. Like Cason Wallace isn't really that guy to do that. He's a great defender, but he's not really a shot creator. AJ Mitchell can do it, but not as consistently as Jared McCain. I think Jared McCain is a really young player. Like he's 22 years old and he can offer something to their core that they don't have yet. So it's pretty intriguing to me. For the East, I guess I'll say like I'm gonna say Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I think he's had a really good campaign this year. Probably gonna win Most Improved Player, and I think a lot of people they know who he is because of what he did on the Timberwolves. But like him being the player that he is today, we're not used to it. It's still brand new to see it in the playoffs would pretty much solidify him as being one of the better role players in the league. And if he's a guy that can give you 18 to 20 a night in the playoffs, that's a breakout in my opinion. Yeah. So especially against a Knicks team that has really good wing defenders, and they're this team littered with veterans that have been in the playoffs in the years past. Yeah. So yeah, Jared McCain and Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
Yeah, for me, my breakout player is Amen Thompson. I think that right now he's in a scenario where the Rockets don't have a lot of guys that can just flat out dribble the basketball. And I think specifically in this Lakers matchup, he is going to be one of the most impactful players on the court on both sides of the ball, just because I don't think that there's a player on the Lakers roster that can stop him from getting to the rim. He's already one of the most athletic players in the league. You put that up against one of the least athletic teams in the league in the Lakers, and I think Amen Thompson could be like the Lakers' only chance is if LeBron is the best player in the series, honestly. And I think that there's a legitimate shot that by the end of this series, we will say that Amen Thompson was the most impactful guy on the Rockets roster. Because if he can stop and limit the Lakers on defense and do whatever he wants on the offensive end of the ball, which I think he will be able to because we just don't have the athletes to guard him. Like, this is the exact series for Amen Thompson to break out. Like, he just had one of the most efficient 40 balls in NBA history like 2 weeks ago. Like, this is a guy that could legitimately destroy whatever the Lakers have going. And so I think that this is the breakout series for him. My next question for you is, which superstar is under the most pressure in the 2026 NBA playoffs? For me, it's Kevin Durant. I think you've been like the narrative behind KD is like, oh, you've never won without Steph, blah, blah, blah. You're a part of all these team implosions, the Suns, the Nets, the Thunder, all these teams that just kind of blow up with you on them. And so you get to this playoff series, you're a heavy, heavy favorite against LeBron, and a chance to prove that, like, yo, this is your playoff series. You got to go and make something shake. You chose to come to the Rockets. If they lose this series to the Lakers, this is legacy damaging shit for KD. Like, it really is. Like, this is in a series that you were a massive favorite in without Luka and Austin against LeBron. You have to win this series where you are the clear best player, should be in the series, but easily best player on this team. You have to win this. And so for me, KD is under an extraordinary amount of pressure, because if they don't win, I think we have some serious conversations about what the fuck are you doing anymore? Like, what is this? What are we doing here? So who's yours?
I've been going back and forth on this one. Because I had two guys in mind. I really don't know which one to pick. I'm gonna say James Harden. Harden. I was picking between James Harden and Jalen Brunson, but I'm gonna say James Harden. And the reason is, even though I don't think he's like a top 10 player anymore, I don't think he's the best player on the team, but he still contributes in a way that's very impactful. And I think when you go to a team that has championship aspirations, once again, for the 5th time, I think at some point, like, we're running out of excuses, we're running out of reasons to why you're not finding success. It's kind of similar to KD. Like, KD hasn't been out of the first round since 2020, 2021. And like, Harden's been on successful teams, but it's kind of the same things with him. Since both of them have left the Nets, it's been pretty shit for both of them. I think the closest that Harden came was when he was on the Sixers, and I felt like that was his best chance to win a chip. But the Cavs have a really good team. Like, you don't have the pressure of being the guy anymore, and you've got guys around you that fit really well. Like, Donovan Mitchell is an elite scoring guard. Jared Allen is great with a facilitator next to him. And Evan Mobley is an all-world defender who can give you upside on the offensive end. So, like, if I'm James Harden, this should be one of the most, not easiest, but like, this should be one of the most seamless ways of me being productive in a long time. Like, since I was playing with MVP Joel Embiid. Yeah. And I think if they lose to the Raptors, or honestly, like, even if they lose to if they lose to the Knicks or the Celtics, a little less, but like, losing to one of the bottom 4 teams is a lot more embarrassing than losing to one of the top guys, because they have so much talent on the team that I think there's no excuse for them to not get out of the first round.
Yeah. My next one is, what is your biggest playoff hot take of the 2026 playoffs? Mine's, I'll go first. Mine's,
you already said yours.
I know, but I got to get it for the TikTok now, you feel me? Because it's going to be too hard to clip all that shit up. So, my one playoff hot take is that the Hawks beat the Knicks in the first round. And for me, it comes down to, one, I think the Hawks are a good matchup with the Knicks. 2, I just doubt the Knicks' ability to ever win anything serious. That I just don't think the Knicks are going to be a championship contender while Jalen Brunson is their best player, because, as I've said before, I think that they have a small guard as your best player problem. Look, I want someone to tell me the last small guard that I want someone to tell me the last team that won a championship with a small guard as their best player. People are going to say Steph Curry. Steph Curry is the outlier of all outliers, unanimous MVP, best shooter of all time. Jalen Brunson is the best nothing of all time. And then other people are going to say the 2004 Pistons. Okay, great. Chauncey Billups. Cool. That was a historically good defense in a series that they were not supposed to win. And it has not happened since then. So if you want to tell me that Jalen Brunson and the Knicks are going to be this Pistons team, that's just not the case. So I think the Knicks will just never win anything serious while Jalen Brunson is their best player, because that's just not how the landscape and makeup of the NBA works nowadays. So give me the Hawks in 7. And yeah, that's my playoff hot take.
Bro said the best at nothing. That's insane.
I said the best. I said the best.
You said the
nothing
best at
ever.
nothing.
The best at nothing ever. He's just not. Like, that's fair. Neither is Giannis. Giannis is the best at nothing ever. You know, like there's only one best at something in NBA history, and so it's hard to be that. I don't think that's a crazy thing to say.
It's just the way you phrase it. I'm not saying like I know what you meant to say, but for the TikTok, it's gonna sound crazy. Because it's gonna sound like you just shoved Jalen Brunson under the bus. But I don't have a hot take. I guess like because I think the league is kind of like there's no overwhelming favorite. Like the Thunder are probably the favorite to win the chip. And then I don't want to go against things that I already said. So I don't have anything prepared. I'm gonna just say like, okay. I think Wemby will struggle in the playoffs.
Okay.
Offensively.
Do you think they make the Western Conference Finals?
It depends. Because if they let me look at the bracket real quick.
They play the Nuggets round 2. If we assume the Nuggets win versus
because I have the Nuggets going to the finals. So
okay, so move.
If they play the Nuggets, I don't think the Spurs win. I think Wemby, I think he's prepared for the playoffs, but I think his offense needs some work. So I think he will struggle a little bit offensively. And while we will see spectacular things and we will see him do things that nobody else can do, at the same time, like, when the playoffs come around, your numbers just tend to drop. That's just the nature of the playoffs in general. And I'm curious to see how he adjusts throughout the course of a series. But I don't really love my hot take, but I'm gonna just say it because I feel like it's his first playoffs. And as talented as he is asked to do a lot on both sides of the ball. So I'm curious to see what he does with that responsibility.
Yeah. Yeah. And so my last question for you is, what is your 2026 NBA Finals prediction? Give me your winner and who they're going to be facing off against. For me, I have Thunder versus Celtics. I have Thunder in 7. I think it is going to be a culmination of the two teams that we thought could have been dynasties. I think people thought the Celtics were going to be a dynasty. I think people last year believed that the Thunder are going to be a dynasty. I think that they're going to meet in the finals, and I think we're going to see who's the leader of this era, and I think it's going to be Shea and the Thunder that win in a historically good series that is 7 games.
Not mad at it. As you know, I'm not a believer in back-to-back chips. It is extremely hard. Even getting back to the finals is very, very difficult. So I'm going to say, I already said coming out of the West, I have the Nuggets. Out of the East, I'm going to say the Knicks. Even though I think the Celtics.
That's going to be an ass whooping, boy.
For who?
The Nuggets going to beat the shit out of the Knicks.
Once you make it to the finals, all bets are off, bro. That's not the 2023 Heat standing there. Like that's a much better team. But I do think the Knicks match up well with. I think the only team that give the Knicks a ton of trouble are the Pistons, just because of the way they play and how scrappy they are. I think the Celtics and Knicks match up really, really well, and I think that series goes 7. Last year it went 5. And Tatum got hurt, but it was structured in a way where like the Knicks were going to win that series regardless whether Tatum got hurt or not.
They went up 3-1 when he got hurt, or 3-0 when he got hurt, or something like that.
They went up 2-0 on the road. So I do think the Knicks match up extremely well with the Celtics. I also think they match up well with the Cavs. So like, as long as they don't run into the Pistons, which I don't think they win a series against the Pistons because I think the Pistons are just so. Their styles, their styles mesh so well, and I think like when Cat gets out of it mentally, like it's hard for him to get back on track. But like he doesn't have that issue against the Celtics. He doesn't have that issue against the Cavs. So like my pick that I've had all year, Nuggets. I think I picked the Knicks preseason. I'm gonna just stay with that because I think they do run into the Celtics. I think they win a hard fought battle with the Celtics, but I do think. The following year, I do think the Thunder get back probably next year, and the Celtics probably get back very soon as well. So I think a lot is to be said about just team chemistry in general. And the Thunder haven't, even though they played with that lineup all year last year, like they haven't played together all season like this. So Like, are you counting on getting 22 points out of Jalen Williams for a whole playoff run? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, will his hammy go loose in the middle of a series? We have no idea. So I'm not going to count on good health on top of like Shea being historically great when the West is so formidable. And then I just think the Knicks they're good enough to get to the finals. They're just not good enough to win a championship, in my opinion.
I feel
Which
that.
is
So
why they'll probably trade for Giannis.
If it was Nuggets, Knicks, who would you take in how many games?
Nuggets in 6.
Got you. Boom. And so, yeah, that is our NBA playoff, NBA end of season primer podcast. We went to NBA awards. We talked play-in. We talked playoffs. We're at an hour 35, which honestly is a fucking great amount of time for us because we can ramble. So honestly, I'm proud of us. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed the playoffs. What we got
next week? NFL mock draft. We're gonna do the NFL mock draft. I don't know if you want to do it like we're gonna figure out how we're gonna do it. But yeah, NFL mock draft next week. We also we're gonna talk about our favorite players, like our sleepers, if we have any, and what we think might actually happen on draft night, because we know these NFL GMs like to get a little walk on draft night and drink in the walk.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna leave it to you. Go ahead, do your outro.
Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoy the playoffs themselves. By the time we talk to you again, it'll probably be like game 3 or 4 of the next series next week, or maybe probably by game 2, 3. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Make sure you subscribe to Run It Up Podcast everywhere that podcasts are found. You can find us on Twitter at Run It Up Pod, Instagram at the Run It Up Podcast, TikTok at the Run It Up Podcast, me at Najee _ Jalaal at J.Sandy _ everything is in the description down below. Leave a 5-star rating and review. I hope you guys have a litty day, a litty night, a litty life. And just like we do in every episode of this podcast, make sure y'all go run it up.